Hey guys, welcome back. We are moving along here with the 1975 TS125 project. If you've been following along, you'd see that I got this thing running pretty good. Just needed a little O-ring in the carburetor and got that running up and down the road pretty good into the trails. Did a little bit of trail riding with it when I first got it going. And then we brought it back and took care of the paint and rust and a couple other little things too. So now I'm just going to worry about the electrics. I'm going to put a battery in there. Try to get a headlight, taillight maybe, and I also have a seal coming for the counter shaft, which was leaking pretty good. So we're going to throw that in there too, and then depending on the weather, try to get her out, maybe get her into the woods again and up and down the road at least, just to ride it some more. The battery box is empty right now, as you can see, but I'm going to charge that battery up. I'm going to get the acid into that battery, get it charged, and I'll throw it in. Hook it up, see what lights up. Hopefully we get something that lights. There's some hack job going on up here at the under the headlight. I have this loose right now, but up under here you can see there's some stuff that's kind of taped off, and I'm gonna get a look at the yeah, there's some stuff terminated. Like I said, I think these are for the turn signals, but I'm gonna get a closer look at the wiring diagram just to confirm that and go by the colors. And I was looking at this bulb, and it looks like looks like it's broken there. So not the bulb glass itself, but where the inside, the electrodes or whatever you want to call it, they appear to be broken. So I don't know if that's going to work. I'll try to run a continuity test on the wires and see what we got, but probably gonna have to get another light bulb or a headlight lens and fabricate this to work with this plug. But we'll dig into that here and find out for sure. I also got to get the take the gauges off, because I noticed when I revved it up, and you can see this is kind of out of whack right now. I don't know why it's there, but I hooked up the new cable for the tack, and it just kind of like spun all the way around, and it rested right there at the wrong spot. It should be there, obviously. So that, and also when I spun the front wheel, it went up to like 100 miles an hour, just when it was spinning in the garage, like up off the ground. So that can't be right either. So there's something going on with the gears in here where that meshes with the cable that I'm going to find out. I'll take that off. Hopefully it just needs some lube or something, but those might be messed up. But we're going to find out. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we're going to start with probably the battery, just simple stuff first, and then see what lights up, and we'll go from there. So let's get started. I got to start off here, get this thing charged up. We're going to put the acid in and throw it on a charger real quick. We got that filled up. Just going to tap it, get the air bubbles out of there. And we'll top it off one more time and throw her on the charger. Okay, we got the battery acid filled up in there. Air bubbles are out. And I'm just going to throw this old school charger on here for a little bit. Let's flip this over to 6 volt. Let that charge up. Okay, we got the battery all charged up, 6 volts, and I'm getting ready to hook this up just to see if we get any kind of lights. So I'm just looking for this one right here, the red wire, and the ground wire, which is right here, which is just attached to the frame. So get those two plugged in, and we're going to see if anything happens here. Okay, we got no tail light, no running light. Let me hit the brake real quick and we'll see if anything comes on. Nothing there. I'm gonna hook up the headlight again just to make sure. You know, looking at the bulb closely, it looks like the electrodes are broken anyway, so we'll plug it in and see if we get anything at all. Just gonna hook this back up to the white, yellow, and black with white tracer wire here. Okay, I'll turn the ignition on. Light switch is on, nothing. I'm pretty sure this bulb is dead, so that's not going to help much there. So, I was looking at the wiring diagram, and these are in fact for the turn signals. The light blue or light green, whatever you want to call it, and the black wire, straight black, is actually for the turn signals. So that's why these two are terminated. So I know that. The one thing I couldn't figure out in the wiring diagram that I have is I have a brown wire with a white tracer that there's no mention of that in the wiring diagram, and this wasn't hooked up to anything either. And I also have that back under the seat as well, so I'm not sure what that's for. The solid brown is hooked up. I'll have to see what that one's for again, but yeah, if anybody knows what the brown with the white tracer would be for, I have no idea why that's there, because there's no mention of it in the diagram. You can see it here again too. Somebody had taped this off for some reason, along with a yellow with a red tracer, which the diagram doesn't show anything for that either. But I did see it up here in this little cluster. So there's a red with a, or yellow with a red tracer. I'm not sure what that's for. And it's back here too under the seat, but it's taped off. And here is the other two for the turn signals. So we'll leave those go. I'm not going to worry about those for now. I'm going to focus on getting this tail light to work. And I'm not getting running light, or when you hit the brake switch, nothing's lighting up. So we do a little investigation here. I'm going to take this off, get a look at the plug, and we're going to see if we can figure out why we got nothing going on. Okay, we got the lens off, and this is a new bulb that I put in here. There was a plate on here that I got off too, in case you're wondering. But anyways, yeah, I put a new bulb in here. I tested the bulb, so I know it works. I just hooked up the battery on either end of this, and it lit up. So I know the bulb's good. So I'm gonna see if I can get any readings on the contacts in there with my multimeter, with the ignition switch on and the lights on, just for running lights at least. So there should be some current going there. Okay, we got ignition on, the light switch is on. Let's see if I get any voltage here. Let's see if I can hook this up so you can see it while I do this. Okay, so I'm just gonna start touching the ends here. See if we get anything. Should be one ground too. Nothing. Nothing there. Can't get both of them in there at the same time. All right. I'm gonna pull this actually off and get at that plug a little easier. Got a feeling it's something going on in there. There goes the meter. I can already see. Yeah, it looks like the black and white wire is actually off its prong there, so yeah, that might be why it's not working. Yeah, that I guess that's the ground wire is not grounding. So let me try to get that on there real quick, and we'll test that out again. All right, I've temporarily just kind of clamped down the ground wire with these vice grips here on that little prong that's on there. So I should see, I got the ignition on, and I should see some readings on here once I hit these different contacts. I'm going to do ground here. We'll try the brown one first. Okay, yeah, so the brown one's giving me some voltage now, so that's good. All right, so the white one, let's see, that's probably whenever the switch is on. Yeah, I'm not getting anything right now on the white. Brown, I'm getting about 2.5 volts. So let's see what happens when I'm gonna wedge the brake pedal down and touch that white wire and see what we get. So I just wedged a rubber mallet into the brake pedal just to simulate me pushing down on the pedal itself. So let's see, we still got voltage going to the brown wire. And we should see something when I touch the white wire now. And we do. 2.5, so that's good. All right, so I just gotta make sure I got the right bulb. Okay, we got the bulb in there. I'm gonna set you up back here, and I'm gonna go up and turn the ignition on. And flip the lights on and see what we got going on. Should light up now. Okay, I'm gonna flip the lights on. All right, sweet, that comes on, and I'm gonna hit the brake. All right, that gets brighter. Same with the front. Wow, the front brake lever connection even works. Usually that never works. Sweet. I'm gonna get my temporary clamp out of the way, and I'm probably just gonna put a little dab of solder on here just to make sure that's touching, because I think that was the problem all along. Hit this up with a little bit of flux. Make sure that's cleaned up. I'm gonna try to do this while it's on the bike. Let's see if I can kind of just get lucky and have it sit right there. And if I could just kind of drop a little bead of solder on there. Let's see if I can make that happen. Make sure I get enough on there. I don't want to put too much on. I don't want that popping off. There we go, right there. All right, we'll make sure the light still works before I hook all that back up. All right. Okay, we're good to go. I'm gonna throw that back together. Okay, moving over to the headlight side. This finally came in the mail, and this is just a knockoff headlight that's going to fit this. And the only thing that's different, as you can see, is the way the wiring is. So I'm just going to cut this off, the old one, since it doesn't work, and going to add a couple plugs to the end of these wires so that I can just attach it directly to these. So I just got to figure out, obviously this one's probably the ground. Just got to figure out which one is which, yellow or white, in relation to the new one. And yeah, so I'm just gonna chop off the old one so I can use this plug to go into the harness, and we'll make it work one way or the other. Get that out of the way. Just cut back these wires a little bit. Okay, just gonna fit these plugs on here real quick. Plug ends. All right, so I gotta make the ground wire on the original harness a female end, and I'm gonna use this one right here. The other two will be male ends. There's a crimp down there, nice. Okay, it's gonna fit in there good. So I'll get the other two hooked up with, like I said, the male ends, bullet connectors. Okay, we got those crimped down. Start plugging this in. Should have put a cover on there. All right, so the other two I got to guess here. We're gonna start with, we'll do blue to white. See what happens, and then we'll just swap them if we have to. Okay, let's go plug this in on a bike and see if we can get it to light up. Still using my original harness. I'm just gonna kind of rest this on here for now. Before I put it all back together, we'll make sure it works. Okay, this right here. Let's get the ignition to on. Nothing. Let's try swapping those two colors there and see if that's it. Hopefully that's it. Swap this yellow with the white. Okay. get something now. Nothing. I'm wondering if the bike has to be running. I'm getting a tail light though. I'll look into that a little bit more. All right, I got the lights hooked up, and I'm gonna start this thing up and see. I think it has to be running for the light to come on in the headlight at least. All right, let's get her fired up here. I'm gonna do this one-handed. Hopefully that's not gonna fall. Oh yeah. High beam, low beam, both pretty bright. All right, we're good to go with the headlight now too. Okay, I got the lights off for full effect. Got our tail light on. Get it fired up. I can't let it run too long because I'm in my basement and it's 20 degrees outside. I really can't have the door open too long, so I'm just gonna let it run just for a minute so I can show you. Look at that. Headlight, tail light. Brake light, high beam, low beam. Shut it down. So we're good to go with lights. All right, next up, I'm going to address the oil leak that we got going on from the counter shaft seal. Got it leaned up against this pole here, kind of leaning that way, so when I open that up, it's not going to gush engine oil out. So get these covers off and get the sprocket out of the way and see if we could pick that seal out of there. Start with the chain guard here first. Shifter's got to come off. Not sure if I got to take this cover off for the clutch, but there might be a screw behind it that holds it up against the motor, so I'm just going to take it off. There's only 4 bolts here. It's nice and clean. Gasket's still in good shape. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3 Phillips. So, or JAS screws, I should say. That one was loose. That was pretty loose too. This one you can tell was replaced. I don't think that's the standard screw. That was loose too. Didn't have to get the impact out. That was welded before. So the tip probably broke off. Somebody did a pretty decent job of welding that straight on there. Oh yeah, that was welded. I'm no welder, but that's pretty straight from what I could see. I couldn't even tell if I took that off that it was welded on there. Still got the splines on there for the shifter too, so no harm. Get this washer out of the way here. Sorry for the added noise with the furnace. Just got hit with a cold streak here. Furnace has been running all day, off and on, off and on. I'm hoping I can just slip this off the shaft there. I forgot to loosen up the chain. Looks like a brand new sprocket. supposed to be a little O-ring in there. I don't know if I can see it until I get the seal off. But from what I read online, it's usually not the seal that goes bad, it's that little tiny O-ring that sits on that shaft. So we're gonna find out. The seal doesn't look bad. But... Okay, before I try to pull that out of there, I just wanna size up the new one. And it looks like we got the same size, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna try to put some self-tapping screws into here, just enough to get in and hopefully pull that out. I gotta find one that's gonna fit in there real quick. I'll be right back. Let's see if I can. There we go. Hockey puck worked again. It's a regular tool now with me. Okay, we got the old seal out. And there is a little O-ring in there too that I gotta fish out of there somehow. I do have a replacement for that as well. Let's see if I can find something that's gonna get down in there and pull that out. Looks to be okay still, but you never know. It's leaking out of there somewhere, so I figured seal and O-ring should take care of it. So here's the O-ring, and it doesn't look like it's torn anywhere, but it is a little stiff. Still pliable, but comparing it to the new one I got, I can tell this one's a little more pliable. So hopefully that'll take care of the oil leak. Yeah, there's the new one. This one's much softer, I can tell. So I'm gonna try to slip it over these splines without ripping anything. I might try the old plastic bag over the front, kind of like putting fork seals on, just to keep it from ripping. A piece of this, slip it over the top of that. Going to gently push that down into its spot. A little oil on there. It's going to get this surface as clean as possible, so I can use a little bit of black RTV on there on the new seal, just where it'll sit up against the case here. And, okay. So there is a lip there, so I don't have to worry about pushing it in too far. And we're going to push it on. Use a piece of wood here and just kind of go around the outside of this, gently tap it, make sure it's flush. Okay, looks good to go. Just gonna put the little spacer back in here. Get some oil on that too. It's nice and snug. Washer back on there. It doesn't have to be terribly tight. I'm going to snug it down with this. Okay. Do the other side too, just for good measure. Don't want that backing off of there, obviously. Okay, no chance of that backing off. Okay, clutch action still smooth. Okay, we're good to go. All right, next up I'm going to try to pop open these, the speedometer and also the tack. I'm going to heat this up with a heat gun, just kind of get this soft so I could pry this open. So if it's anything like the Hondas I did, there's this ring around here that you gotta have to, you have no choice really but to pry it. And this old plastic, I'm not sure how it's going to like that. So I'm going to put a heat gun to it, get it soft, and just gently pry up on that. I started doing it in one spot right there a little bit. I can see that it's going to be doable. So hoping heat will keep that from breaking too much. And then once, once I get it back together, I can kind of smash that back down and maybe put some glue in there or something if it works. So here we go. Heat this up first. Heat down here. Just kind of go around. It looks like there is some kind of sealant that they used on here from the factory all the way around. So this heat gun is really making it nice and soft. I'll bring you back in here once I get a little further along here. I don't want to bore you. Okay, I got the lip all the way around peeled up. I'll go one more time around with the heat gun just to soften it up even more. I should be able to pry this out. I'll get the heat gun shut off. Okay, we are out. Hopefully, I'm just hoping I could just lube this up a little bit and fix the problem. Because basically, you can see it's like out of whack here, and I don't want to touch that, but it just seems kind of rough here. So I'm gonna get a little lubrication down inside of here and see if we can figure out why it's not returning. Because when I put the wheel up in the air and spin it, it just goes crazy out of whack. Like you're spinning it and it says you're doing 100 miles an hour. So something's stuck or off. So we're gonna lube this up and see what we can figure out. All right, I think I see what's going on, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix this because this here is the part that the cable attaches to and spins. So I have it hooked up to a drill here. You can see it goes in and out here. So it only moves if I push it upwards, and doesn't want to return until you bring it back down. So I think that's supposed to happen automatically. It's kind of hard to explain, but the threads, as you can see on the part here, are broken off. So I think the cable is pushing too far up on it, just a guess, and it's not allowing the gauge to return back down. And I think what happened, before I got it, somebody jammed that on there and maybe spun it, and that little spring that's in there maybe isn't returning the gauge. I don't know, but it seems to go back eventually. If you go in reverse, it'll take you back. But you can see when I pull it out like this, see how it goes in and out there? If I pull it out, it'll turn the gears inside there and change the mileage. I started at 0, see the 2's coming around here. And if I push it upwards, that's going to move the gauge, but it won't return back. So I'm going to keep working at it and get some more lube in there. It seems like it was pretty sticky at first, so maybe just working it back and forth will get it to do what I need it to do. So I'll keep working at it. I'll bring it back in here in a little bit. I've been working this on high speed for a while, and it does seem to be returning now. So maybe I loosened up what was in there. This all moves very free now. I've been putting some lube down in this rotor here, which seems to help. All these gears that turn the numbers for this odometer are working okay. Those were kind of stuck at first too. So here's where I'm at. So if you push the gauge up and then pull back, it kind of starts going back. Wasn't doing that before, so slowly loosening it up. I'm gonna keep at it a little bit longer here, and then I'm gonna throw it back on. I'm not about to take all that apart inside of there, because I guarantee I won't be able to get that back together. There's a clock spring like right in the middle, and I'm just not set up to, I don't have the fine tools to get in there to perform brain surgery on it. It's probably not that bad, but I just don't feel like dealing with all that little springs, and all that stuff needs a line just right. I had good luck with my Honda XLs a while back. Before I did my channel, I had, I still have the bikes, XL175 and XL350, that the gauges were all stuck and messed up on those two, and I was able to just lube them up, and over time they pretty much work perfect now. So I'm hoping it's the same deal with this, but like I said, they didn't have this part broken off with the threads, so we'll see. Starting to work a little better. Okay, I think it's about as free as it's gonna get. All right, guys, this is where I'm going to leave off on this video. It's kind of running long, plus I'm waiting for some bulbs to come in for the speedo and tack. As you can see, I still got it apart, and I kind of want to get it back on the road again here, but as you can see, we got some snow, and I don't really feel like taking it out in that, so I'll leave off here. Once I bring you back in with this one in the next video, we should have the tack and the speedo back on there with the lights, and I might even get the turn signals ordered up. Some third-party ones on eBay that I found that are replicas, so I might do that, I might not, we'll see. But stick around for the follow-up here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Leave me some likes and comments. As always, it's much appreciated, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.